Hi guys, welcome once again to another interesting tutorial. My name is OJ. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If this is your first time seeing my video, please like and subscribe because it really helps on this channel. Today's video is all about this beautiful gorgeous style. So this is what we are here to learn. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Starting with the front pattern, right? My guideline, which should serve as the shoulder line. So I will indicate it here. The neck width, this will be our center front now, right? So I'll mark the neck width. I'll make use of 3 inches for the neck width. Then shoulder divided by 2, I'll mark the shoulder divided by 2, 7.5 here. And I'll come down for my shoulder slope. I'll make use of 1.25. Then I'll also come down for my chest. Shoulder to chest is 8 inches. Shoulder to bust is 10 inches. Shoulder to under bust is 13.25, is 13 inches. Then the half length for the front is 16 inches, right? So the half length is 15 inches, then I added 1 inch to it. So a straight line. This is our chest line, this is our bust line, and this is the under bust line. Then this is the waist line. Hope that is clear. So now I'll be connecting what I have for my shoulder divided by 2 on this shoulder line here. I will mark it on the chest line. Then I'll connect it up this way. Alright, so this is what we have. Then the neck width for the neck depth for the front is 3 inches. So I'll mark it here too. Then I'll be connecting it to the neck width this way. So I make use of 3 by 3. Then I'll come to the waist. I'll be marking the nipple to nipple divided by 2, which 3.5. I'll mark it here. I'll also mark it here this way, 3.5. And I'll connect it from the bust to the waist, right? Then the dart intake for the waist here, I'm going to mark on both sides 0.75 on both sides, right? So that will be total of 1.5 inches. So I'm making use of 1.5 inches. I'll just share it on both sides this way. Then I'll come to the under bust. I'll come in 0.75. Then I'll go out 1.25. So total of that intake on the under bust is 2 inches, while the waist is 1.5 inches. Hope that is clear. Then I will use a straight ruler to connect under bust to the waist. Then I'll be using my curve ruler to connect the bust to the under bust. So this is what I have now, right? So now I will mark what I have from my bust line to the under bust. The difference is 3 inches. What I have from my bust line to the other bust is 3 inches. Then I'll go up that 3 inches here. Then I'll connect it. So I'll connect my shoulder slope this way, right? So this is it. Then from there, I'm going to mark the midpoints. I'll mark the midpoint here. This is the midpoint. So I'll be connecting it to my dart this way. So now at this area here, I'm going to take in some dart here, right? So I'm going to make use of 1 inch. So I'll mark 1/2 inch on both sides. So that's total of 1 inch. I'll connect it to the dart apex this way. So this is just to contour the bust area to be firm, right? Then I'll come to this slope here now. I'll be coming in 0.75. Then I'll go out 1.25. So that's total of 2.25, right? So I'll connect it there. Then I'll be connecting it with my straight ruler too this way. So you don't connect it like from this dart apex here, right? So you can see that there's some excess. So just follow this process. Have a line here, connect this first, then connect this. Hope that is clear. So this is our dart intake here, right? So the lines now I'm going to be mush now. So just pay attention to what I'm doing here. So this is just basically your normal shoulder dart bustier, right? Because of we are extending this, it's cut together with the sleeve, so I'm going to do some marks here. So for example, now I'm going to start with this, I'm going to replace this dart 2.25, right? So I will be marking it on this line. From here I'll replace it 2.25, I'll mark it here this way, right? Then remember this shoulder slope that we came down, so we'll come down for the shoulder slope that I make use of there. So one, I'll mark it this way. Then you are going to measure what you have on this line to this area here, and measure to what you have on this part to this area here. So to be sure that it's equal. If it's not, you raise it a little bit here. So for me, I'm short with 0.25, so I'll raise it up here. So I'll be connecting a new slope here this way. That's one, right? So now I've already replaced it here. Now this is the dart line, right? So replace it here. So on my chest here, I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 8.5 inches. The dart intake that passed through here, I will replace it here, which is here. So we'll be connecting a new, then we'll connect our armhole. Now remember, we've not connected our armhole here before, right? So I will connect the armhole now to this area here. But we are not going to cut this line through, right? Because it is cut together with the sleeve. So I'm now going to add the sleeve now. So let me just say I'll make use of 3.25, right? So I'll mark 3.25 here. So the total, what I have from here to the center front here, from the center front to the sleeve length, now that I've had 3.25 here, right? So I measure the 3.25 to what I've have here for the shoulder and the dart intake that we've replaced here. The total is 13 inches. So that 13 inches, I'll come to the chest line here. I will mark the 13 inches here too. Then from the 13 inches that I'll mark on the chest line, I'm going to come in 1.5 inches, and I'll use it to connect it this way. So this is it. So this is our sleeve opening, right? Then for this, I'm going to connect it back to this. So that means I'm going to come down for my slope again. From the shoulder, I'll come down for my slope. For here, I'm going to make use of 1.5 inches. I'll be connecting it back to this, right? So just to have a straight line. So now this is the line we are making use of. All this is no longer useful. So this is the line we are now making use of, right? This is the line we are making use of. Hope you follow. So if you don't understand all this line, just rewind it again so that you see why all these lines are indicated here, right? So we are done with this upper part. So I'll come to this part here. I've already marked my bust divided by 4. We've replaced the dart here. Then the extension of the sleeve, we've also added here because we minus 1.5 inches away from there. So this is the line we are making use of here. So I've not add my seam allowance here. When I'm cutting into my fabric, I'll add seam allowance. So now I will come to my waist. The waist circumference divided by 4 is 6.5. I'll mark it here this way. The dart intake here is 1.5. We'll replace it back. So this is it. Then I'll be connecting it to, I'll connect it, see where I connect it to, right? So this is the original, my bust circumference divided by 4 plus the that intake that passed through here, right? So this is where I connect it to. Then I'm going to come down for tighten my under, I'm going to be tightening the bust, right? So for the bust, my side dart to tighten the bust, and whatever thing I come down here, that's what I'm going to use to shorten the back panel of this dress. So for me, I'm going to make use of 1.5 inches. Then I'll connect it to the dart apex this way. So this is it. So this is all you need for this pattern. This is for the front, so we are going to cut this out. So before cutting it out, make sure you fold in your dart, right? So I'll cut this area here. Then I'll be folding my side dart. So I'll use pin to hold it in place. What I'm going to do now is to blend this underbust this way. I'll blend it to the sleeve, right? So which is the chest line, right? So I'll place my cover roller this way, then I'll connect it this way. So you see the way I've connected. So now we'll cut it out. So here is my pattern after cutting it out. So this is how it's going to be, right? So I'm going to get another paper to add it to the damper. So I'm going to extend this length here to have that V shape that you've seen on the style. So to achieve that shape, I'm going to extend it. So I'm going to use another paper here, right? So let me get another paper and do that. Then I'm just going to also lap this to this way. So I'm not going to overlap it. I just want it to meet with this. So now from this line here, I'm going to come down 3 inches. So depend on how deep you want it, right? That curve, that basque effect, depend on how deep you want it. For me, I'm going to make use of 3 inches. So I'll make use of 3 inches, right? So I'll mark 3 inches down this way. Then at the tip here, this waistline here, I'm going to go up ½ inch. Then from there, I'm going to use my curve ruler to connect this point here. I'll connect it to this because it's not sharp. So I'm not using a straight ruler, I'm using a curve ruler because it's curvy, right? Then from here now, I'll go up ½ inch. Then I'll be connecting it to my under bust this way. So I'll place my curve ruler to this way. Then I'll make a curve. So I'll smooth this up this way. So this is what we have. Hope you follow. So I'm going to cut this out. So I didn't lap it to this point here, right? So I'll just blend it up this way and remove it. So this is what we have. So when I'm going to sew it back, I'm going to sew this part here this way, right? So this area here this way, then bring it back this way. So when you're cutting this on your fabric, you need to notch all these points so that they meet together back. So this is the under bust. This is the under bust here, right? So this under bust has to meet back here, right? Then this is the bust area, has to meet with this point. Then this point here has to meet with this point. So make sure that you notch all these points in your fabric so that all the points will meet together, right? This is meeting this will meet with this will meet with this, then this will now enter into this area here. Hope that is clear. So we've not add our side seam allowance, right? So when I'm cutting this on my fabric, I'm going to add all my side seam allowance and also add my shoulder seam allowance as well. I'll add ½ inch on this shoulder area here. I'll also add ½ inch to turn the neck with my lining. I'll add ½ inch on this area here. Add ½ inch too on this area to join this together. And I will add my side seam allowance on this area, right? Then add my sleeves and my hem allowance too on this sleeve area, the sleeve opening. So that's all the seam allowance I'm going to add to this pattern. So let's draw for the back. So back, I'll be drafting for the back, and I'll be using this brown paper here. So now I'm going to come down for my shoulder line, which will serve as the guideline. Seam allowance of 1.5 inches for the sleeve. This is for the zip. So this is for my zip seam allowance of 1.5 inches. So my measurement is going to start from here, right? So I'll mark the neck width 3 inches, the same way we'll do for the front. Then the shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5 inches. I will come down for my slope. Then from this shoulder, I will come down for my chest of 8 inches. I'm using the same thing that I use for the front. Then shoulder to the half length is 14.5. So I've removed the 1.5 inches that we came down for the side dart, the side bust dart at the front, right? So use it to shorten the back panel. So here now I have 14.5 instead of the 16 inches that I use for the length of the front. Hope that is clear. So this is our chest line. I will indicate it here. Then I'll be connecting the shoulder slope this way to the neck width. I will come to the waist here. I'm going to slope for my zip to relax. So I'll end this way. I'll connect it up this way, right? So whatever thing I've removed from here, I'm going to replace it back here. So I will continue with the 1.5 from there. So this will be my sleeve, right? So this is just to slope it to make the zip relax at the back. So this is for my zip now, right? So my measurement is going to be on this third line, 1 2 3. So my measurement is going to be on this line here, right? So now I'll come to the chest. I'll be marking first the shoulder divided by 2, which is 7.5. I'll mark it here. Then I'll be connecting it up this way. Then I'll mark the bust circumference divided by 4. Remember, the measurement is starting from this third line here, right? So the bust circumference divided by 4 is 8.5 inches. I'll mark it here this way, right? For my waist here, I'll mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2, and I'll be starting with this. I will take the measurement from here. So the nipple to nipple divided by 2 is 3.5 inches. I'll mark it here. I'll connect it up this way to 5.5 inches. Then I'll be marking that intake of 1 inch, so 1/2 inch on both sides. I'm going to connect my dart leg here. Then I'll come to this slope here. I'll mark the midpoint of this slope. Here I have 4.5 inches, so the midpoint is 2.25. I'll mark it here this way. I'll connect it to the dart this way. Make this align. I'm going to bring this up. Remember, for our neck, this is for the front. I'll bring it, then I'll be putting it here this way. I'll mark where this stop, which is here. So this point here. So from there, I'm going to take in my dart, right? So total of 1 inch, right? So I'm using 1 inch dart intake here. So I'll be connecting it to the dart. I'll connect this point this way. So this is the dart intake, right? So I've taken 1 inch here, taking 1 here. So I'm going to replace this 1 inch at the shoulder here. I'm also going to replace this 1 inch too at this side. Remember, this is where we can. So from there, I'm going to mark the 1 inch. Then we are going to extend for our sleeve. So for the front, we make use of 3.25, right? So I'll make use of that 3.25 and mark it here this way. So you can also get the front too this way. Then you place it this way to be sure that the shoulder is equal, right? So I'll place the shoulder this way and mark what I have. This is where it is. Then from here, where it stop here, I'm going to come down for my slope. I'll make use of 1.5 inches. Then I'll be connecting this. So the total of what I have from this point here, I'll measure it to the end here, right? So just to have a a straight line. So what I have here is 13 inches, right? So at the chest here, I'll mark the 13 inches, which is there. Then I will be coming in 1.5 inches, which is here. So it's just like what we did here too. So you can also place this too to be sure that it's the same thing you have. So this is what I have, right? So this is the chest. This is where the curve starts from, and this is where the line is. So you see that it's the same. You see that it's the same here, right? So make sure that you place this back to be sure that it's the same. So I'll be connecting this. So this is what we have. I'll come to the waist. The waist circumference divided by 4. I'll take the measurement from this part here is 6.5. I'll mark it here this way. The dart intake of 1 inch, we'll replace it back this way. Then we'll connect. I'll first connect it to this line here. Then I'll make a curve this way. Let me use this. The neck depth for the back, I'm going to make use of 1 inch. Then I'll connect it to the neck width this way. Cut this out. So this is the pattern for the what we have for the back. I add my zip seam allowance here, right? So the only seam allowance we're adding is half inch here to join these panels together. Then our side seam allowance, I'm going to make use of 1.5 inches. I'll add it here. Then I'm also going to add half inch here to turn this sleeve opening here. I will add half inch at this upper part here for my shoulder slope. I'll add half inch to join it to the front, right? The shoulder back and front together. So that means I'm also adding it here too. I'll also add half inch here to turn the neck here. So that's all. Then I'm also going to add half inch here to join it to the gathers at the down part, right? So these are all our patterns. These are all our patterns. This is the one for the front, right? Then this is the one for the back. So we have two patterns. So I'm going to cut this on my fabric. I'm going to guys, thank you so much for watching, guys. So in my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you the cutting and the sewing part. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.